riches and worlds that come with being the Emperor of the Galaxy, Emperor Palpatine valued one artifact above all else, an artifact he could fit in the palm of his hand. Despite having nearly everything he ever desired, Palpatine still favored an item his master Plagueis gifted to him, or rather that Palpatine had claimed for himself after his master's death, as was his right as the one Dark Lord of the Sith after Plagueis' passing. This item was a holocron, a source of knowledge for both the Jedi and the Sith to pull from and learn of the ancient histories and powers of the Sith and Jedi that came before them. Palpatine's favorite holocron was of course Sith in origin, but it was far different than any other holocron any Sith had ever made before it. This particular holocron was shaped differently and was slightly larger than a regular one. While most Jedi holocrons were cubic and Sith pyramid shaped, this holocron contained an unidentifiable and peculiar shape to it. This holocron was known as the Telos Holocron and was valued because of the vast knowledge it contained on the Sith Empire, both old and new, even from the very beginning. In fact, Palpatine believed that this very well could have been the first holocron ever constructed by a Sith Lord, as the earliest recording on the holocron was by an ancient Sith Lord known as Ajunta Pall. Originally, Paul had been a Jedi Knight, but led the Dark Jedi that fell away from the light during the 100-Year Darkness, and continued to lead the Dark Jedi when they were exiled to unknown space for their crimes. After being banished, the Dark Jedi encountered the original Sith race, and eventually joined with them to create the Order of the Sith Lords we know today. In many respects, this made Ajunta Pall the first ever Dark Lord of the Sith. Quote, "The Jedi Knights intended us to fall like a single raindrop in an endless desert, but they only sent us to a greater glory. While they decay in their stodgy trappings and power-inhibiting rules of conduct, we grow stronger every day. It is only a matter of time before we shall thank them in an appropriate manner." During this period under the Sith Lord Ajunta Pall, the Sith Empire flourished away from the prying eyes of the Jedi, as this would later be called the Golden Age of the Sith Empire. It was during this time of great success that Paul and other Dark Lords came together to construct the Telos Holocron. Paul himself became what is called the Gatekeeper of the Holocron, meaning not only are they permitted to learn from it, but also imprint their own knowledge onto it for future Dark Lords to learn and pull from. Eventually, Palpatine himself would become a gatekeeper for the Holocron. Quote, "No, I am not the first keeper of this holocron. It has been passed down through the ages by many Sith Lords, most of whom left records of their own. On the Telos Holocron, all the basics of the Sith were left behind, including deep doctrine. This included the very code of the Sith, and how they only served themselves, making it clear the user of the holocron should only use it to further their own powers in the dark side of the Force, no one else's. The holocron was built to help those of the Sith Order attain power, never share it. Quote, "All that we know, we shall share freely with you. All we ask in return is that you keep an open mind and use this knowledge for benefit of only one being, yourself. It is not out of greed that we ask this of you, but out of respect of all those who might have stumbled upon this device. No one is more deserving of our knowledge than you." The Telos Holocron was unique, as it had the ability to lock out Jedi from ever gaining access to it, as it only ever opened under a Sith Lord's direct command. But more than this, one that purely desired power above all else, meaning the holocron was made to corrupt future Darksiders to the Sith Order. Another unique thing about this holocron is those that had imprinted and guarded the holocron could actually appear before those that opened it, as the Dark Lords of old could converse with the new generations of the Sith. These gatekeepers could even speak to them. After Ajunta Pall died, Sith Lords such as Naga Sadow, Darth Bane, and Darth Revan became gatekeepers for the Telos Holocron. Originally, the teachings of Darth Revan were not included on the holocron, but after Bane claimed the holocron as the one Dark Lord, he merged Revan's own holocron with it, and allowed Revan to become a gatekeeper and interact with future Dark Lords of the Sith. Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, would be the final gatekeeper of the Telos Holocron, as he transferred his teachings onto it in hopes that he could pass it down to a new Sith apprentice, or to even Darth Vader himself, if he was ever killed in combat and left his apprentice behind. After Palpatine did indeed die, the holocron found its way to Luke Skywalker, who ordered the holocron locked away and studied by the most trusted of his Jedi Order. Luke made it clear all the students were to be kept as far away as possible from the holocron, as if even one opened it, they could instantly be corrupted by the dark side of the Force and be the beginning of a new Sith Order. Quote, Despite my own cautions, I acknowledge that the Telos Holocron might contain information that will help the Jedi during any potential future dealings with the Sith. Because of this, I support Luke Skywalker's decision to let Tione study it. The Jedi coming into possession of the Holocron was in fact Sidious's deepest fear, as it contained an entire history on the Sith Order, as well as powerful abilities only accessible through the Holocron. The Telos Holocron also outlined the entire philosophy of the Sith. In a sense, the Telos Holocron showed the Jedi the battle plans of the Sith Order as a whole, and ensured that no other Sith could gain access to it ever again. From a certain point of view, the Sith Order itself was contained on this single Holocron. So what are your thoughts on the Telos Holocron, and why Sidious considered it his most prized and dangerous weapon against the Jedi, even above the Death Star itself? And as a question for the video, which Holocron design do you prefer, the Jedi or Sith version? Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed and want to help the channel out, be sure to hit the like button. If you would like to see more Star Wars explanation videos and stay up to date with all the Star Wars news from The Last Jedi to Star Wars Rebels, hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to turn on notifications to see everything as soon as it comes out, and to make sure that you become a living Holocron today. If you would like to get in direct contact with me, follow me on Twitter, where we discuss all things Star Wars and debate with one another on the various topics concerning the universe. If you have any video ideas you want to see explored, leave them in the comments below the video with hashtag suggestion at the end of your comment so I can find it better. If you do end up leaving a suggestion, I really appreciate it and hope to one day make a full video dedicated to your question or suggested topic. Thanks again just for simply watching the video and your continued support on this Star Wars journey. May the Force be with you, and have a great day.